Kentucky. This is Mary Jo Perino. Tonight, the governor updates us on restrictions. The pandemic creates conflict for college athletes around the state. And I'll talk with a former LEX 18 reporter whose entire household is COVID-19 positive. All that and more is next on Hey Kentucky. Welcome to Hey Kentucky with LEX 18 Sports Director Keith Farmer. And Keith, we had lots of praise for the SEC yesterday. Today, they took their own sweet time in talking about the opponents, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, I mean, haven't they known this for some time? And just throw it out there. We're all excited about some information.
There's only 14 schools. Like, it can only be so many. So let's get started with this, though. Governor Beshear continues to make adjustments to his COVID-19 response. The latest news is that he will extend the mask mandate for another 30 days, and it may not be the last time he'll need to prolong the order as we wait for Kentucky's positivity rate to go down. Beshear says masks will be a requirement at this year's Kentucky State Fair, which is still happening but will not be open to visitors. The governor also alluded to more news next week about easing restrictions on restaurants and bars. And I know the restaurants and bars are anxious to hear that news, but I do think the mask mandate needs to remain in place.
I mean, we've definitely seen this decline in that positivity rate, and so I think it seems to be working, and I think lately I've seen more people wearing them, and that's good. And so I think I could easily see this going on for more than another 30 days. I mean, because it seems to be working. Especially
if our numbers continue to trend down, then yeah, it would look like it is working. All right, the coronavirus continues to impact student athletes around the state. The University of Louisville has kicked 3 soccer players off its team and suspended 3 others for having that party, which was traced as the source of spread for 29 COVID-19 cases. That led to men's and women's soccer teams, field hockey team, and the volleyball team canceling workouts. The 3 students kicked off did have prior code of conduct violations. Meanwhile, the war of words continues between a former Eastern Kentucky kicker and the administration over concerns of safety within that football program. The disagreement has seen 3 players leave the Colonels program in 2 days. Landon White quit the football team on Tuesday and made an Instagram post accusing the coaching staff and administration of not keeping the team safe from the pandemic. The athletic director has released several statements in response, saying he wishes White came to him and head coach Walt Wells before posting his concerns online, and that safety for everyone involved is the top priority. Matt Rohn went on to say, quote, any insinuation or statement to the contrary is misinformed and misguided, end quote. Keith, Vince Tyre said he was in full support of the coach's decision here to let those 3 soccer players go. I don't know what their previous code of conduct violations were, but man, that is how serious we are taking this and should be taking it.
Yeah, I think one of them, he had like some bad grades that he turned around, obviously, because he was still on the team. He also was walking outside of the hotel one time. Again, these are past discretions, and this wouldn't even be a problem for him now. So, yeah, kind of strange that they took such drastic action, but you're right. I mean, as we continue to say, we are in different times, and we just have to be more thoughtful, especially with everyone else in programs around us.
You know that other student athletes will think twice about hosting a party at this point, though. That's
for sure.
At least I would. All right, now we return to Kentucky's U.S. Senate race, which is proving to be unpredictable when it comes to the polling. A new one published by Quinnipiac University shows that Republican Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell holds only a slight lead over Democratic challenger Amy McGrath, 49 to 44%, with 5% of voters undecided. The poll also found 46% of voters approve of McConnell's handling of his job, and Governor Beshear earned 63% approval rating. 63% is pretty dang high, Keith, especially when I feel like I hear so many people disagreeing with what the governor has done.
Yeah, but I think everybody's pretty pleased with what he has done during this time. And, you know, the only thing I can't understand, all these numbers that are just so different in this race. I mean, we've seen 4%. We've seen about 15 to 20%. What is it exactly? I don't know.
I have no idea. But I think in our heads, we probably know. It's probably somewhere in between, right? It's probably a 10-point lead for McConnell. That's probably what it is.
Yeah, probably.
And that'll be enough. All right, turning to college football, the SEC was set to release its list of additional in-conference games being worked into their schedules for the COVID-adjusted season. But as of this taping, there was still no word on Kentucky's 2 new opponents for 2020. The league also unveiled its medical policies and procedures. Among them, members of the football team will receive PCR tests twice weekly from an independent third party, and a third test may be added closer to the game. There will also be a mask mandate for all coaches, staff, and non-competing personnel on the sidelines. Physical distancing will be employed to the extent possible. Meanwhile, the Pioneer Football League, which includes Morehead State, is now on a growing list of conferences opting out of the 2020 season. Keith, it will look pretty crazy to see Mark Stoops yelling at a ref like this. But we will.
Yeah, I mean, maybe refs are going to like that, though. I can't hear you, Coach. Can't hear you. What'd you say? But yeah, that will be strange, but probably very necessary. I'm surprised the players, if they're not in the game, don't have to put something on, but maybe they're going to have those visors that we've talked about before. Morehead State, yeah, it's disappointing to see that my alma mater isn't going to have football this year. He had 26 seniors. They felt like they had built this class up to be a special team, and now they're not going to be able to play. Possibly, he said, it's just the Pioneer League that canceled. They're still looking into a chance that they could play a game or two here or there, and so they're going to continue practicing with the team.
All right, turning to basketball, Kentucky is still in the hunt for a 5-star recruit out of Tennessee. Today, the 2022 target cut his list of schools to 8, and UK is in the mix, along with the likes of North Carolina, Michigan, and 2 Tennessee programs. There have been talks that Clark could make a jump into the class of 2021 later this fall, which will most definitely happen, Keith, because nobody graduates when they're supposed to anymore. You can just decide, I'm just graduating now. But what do you think of Sky Clark?
I think he's probably a really heavy Kentucky lean, and I'd be surprised if they don't get him just the way he talks. And then not only that, I mean, he's Sky. He has to come here, right? He's got to join Kenny Skywalker and become a Wildcat. Yeah,
you would think so. I mean, why not? But there will only still be one Sky. It'll still be Kenny for me always. All right, now on Hey Kentucky, in case you missed it, a review of recent headlines. An attorney who has served as general counsel for Republican committees and candidates in Kentucky is mentioned but not charged in a massive political bribery case in Ohio. Eric Lycan is affiliated with a political dark money group that is accused by federal prosecutors of serving as a corporate slush fund for indicted former Ohio House Speaker Larry Householder. And Dr. Jo Jorgensen, the Libertarian Party nominee for president, made a campaign stop in Lexington Wednesday as she works to boost her poll numbers in an attempt to bring her message of small government to a big national stage. Speaking to about 100 supporters in front of the old courthouse, Jorgensen spoke in favor of police reform, the withdrawal of U.S. troops in foreign conflicts, and the abolition of drug laws. Up next on Hey Kentucky, the pandemic takes a personal turn for the LEX 18 extended family. I'll talk with former Lexington reporter Molly Grantham, who shares her unique and unsettling situation as her entire household tested positive for COVID-19, including her newborn baby. Stay with us.